Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the movie DUNE. Yes, I'm sorry if you thought that this was going to be the 2021 version of DUNE, or 2022. I'm not sure when that movie's actually coming out, if it got pushed back or not, but it should be coming out pretty soon, either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. But welcome to Spoilerween. With that being said, again, yes, we are talking about this DUNE, the 1984 version, which is not particularly my favorite. There's a lot of reading, and I'm dyslexic, so I have to kind of read it over again to understand what the heck is being said. Also, I could have probably edited... Well, it's a 2 hour and 17 minute movie. I could have probably knocked it down to about an hour and a half with all of the unnecessary stuff that was just filler. Now, I know if you've read the book, you're thinking, well, it's doing a pretty good job and should have been a 4 to 6 hour movie, and I get that. If there was a director's cut where it was 4 to 6 hours and they explained everything about what's going on, I would understand it because, hey, they did that with Lord of the Rings and a couple other movies I can't remember, but I know that they specifically did that with Lord of the Rings. They got the director's cut, which is like 8 hours over 3 videos. So yeah, but DUNE is interesting. It's a little political. It's a little mystic, if you would. There's a lot of things, but what killed it for me was the talking. Now, I know the talking is plot building and character development and all that great stuff, but really wasn't my cup of tea, especially since they didn't speak Earth. They spoke in a alien dialect for a good portion of the movie. Some people spoke English, some people spoke this alien dialect, which was fine. I do like the little narration bit at the beginning that explains what's going on.
Know then that it is the year 10,191. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness. The spice is vital to space travel, which gives them the ability to fold space. The spice exists on only one planet in the entire universe. Held a prophecy that a man would come, a Messiah, who would lead them to true freedom. The planet is Arrakis, also known as DUNE.
That there's this plant that is kind of a power source for, you know, time for space travel and the strength and all this type of stuff. They explain it at the beginning. It's pretty cool that they explain that, and then it's like, okay, we find out that it's like they're actually harvesting not a plant but these worm things, and DUNE is the name of the planet, which is again kind of cool to find that out at the beginning of the movie. From my understanding, there was supposed to be a part 2, but there never was. Maybe that's just for this new one, I'm not sure. But the ending of this one was kind of like, okay. This guy who is your main DUNE dude, he is basically the chosen one. He's Neo, he is Jesus, basically. And he goes to this planet because they live in a universe where there's a bunch of planets with intelligent beings on each planet, and each planet has some kind of resource. This one, called DUNE, has a resource for basically space travel and things like that. You can, you know, travel, like, move yourself from here to there and not blink, you know, it just happens or something. They never really show that too much. Maybe they do, but it's not very apparent. Again, this guy is like a Jesus figure. He is like the savior of the people, here to beat the big bad guys, and that's basically what he does, but they take 2 hours to do it. Actually 2 hours and I believe 15 minutes to do it. And there's a lot of talking right at the beginning that pretty much is just, he's the guy who's going to save people, and that's pretty much repeated throughout the first half hour, 45 minutes of the movie. Character development, sure, there's a little bit of that, but I wanted to see more of the warrior stuff or the mystic stuff, and I wanted to see more of the actual development and then the Dune stuff. And you know, it's an 80s movie, so it's a little cheesy. The blue green screen doesn't really pan out because it's from the 80s, and you know, that was like super new technology. I mean, Tron was out a year or two before this movie, so, and I mean, that was a decent movie. I actually watched the old Tron again, but you know, it was a decent movie. But Dune, the things that I like was there's some action, there is some, albeit cheesy CGI, but the concept of the CGI, of what the CGI was supposed to represent, was cool. There's like this armor bodysuit thing that you can push on your belt and give you like a force field shield.
Not sorry enough. What's wrong with Gurney?
That was cool. The story arc for the actual guy was pretty cool. The war scenes, the action, the riding a giant worm was pretty cool. But the first half is kind of just a long journey to get to the fun stuff, and then you feel like the fun stuff was kind of short because you know, it was just kind of short. The end battle was just that. It was the end battle, and then he fights the bad guy, who I still don't know why he has an issue with this guy. It really wasn't mentioned. If it was, I didn't notice it. But he gets the bad guy at the end, and he gets his girl in the end, so yay. But I don't know why that was such a big deal beyond him seeing these people in his visions. All in all, I would say I would give this movie probably a 7 out of 10. It's not a horrible movie. It's just very long and could have been cut down. A lot of dialogue that just wasn't needed. Some of the cooler things about this movie is the giant worms, and some of the word-activated weaponry was pretty cool. The body shield thing, even though it was CGI from the 80s, the concept is still pretty cool. Him being this like witch thing was an interesting idea. His sister's pretty funny, kind of weird and kind of funny weird, but still. Do I hate the movie? No. Do I want to see the new one? Yes, to see if they improve the concept of this one, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I have to rewatch it again and just kind of get the nuance of it, because it might have just went over my head. That's just me. But with that being said, guys, not a bad movie. If you guys like this review, go ahead and hit the little like button that should be around here somewhere. If you want to see another video, there should be one popping up right here. And if you guys want to know the next time that I make another video, there should be a little button popping right here to subscribe. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and we will see you later. Peace.